Hello, Magdalena. Can you hear me?
Okay, this is Agnieszka. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with this tool, so I do not know if I should share my screen or you will show my presentation or how shall we proceed?
No, each presenter will share their screen when it's their turn to present. So just, click on share my screen and then you can move your slides.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, right. Hi, everyone. It's 9 a.m. in Chicago, 11 a.m. in Buenos Aires, 3 p.m. in Warsaw, Paris, and Belgrade. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. This meeting was organized by IFLA New Professional Special Interest Group, containing professional development and workplace learning section, and American Library Association. We present digital tools which help you to improve your work and contact with readers. You will also find out about free graphic programs, video and augmented reality apps, and present possibilities of using them. I would like to say a few words about organization of the webinar for the beginning. My name is Magdalena Gomułka. I'm a new professional special interest group convener and work in the Salesian Library in Poland. I will moderate today's webinar. Today's topic is digital tools that can change your library life, and I need to emphasize that this topic was voted among top suggestions from all of you who participated in our yearly survey. We thank you for that. It is worth to say that for the next days you are able to fill in the survey as well and tell us about webinar topics which you would like to hear in the next year. All information you can find on the New Professional website. So just for 1 minute, I would like to ask all of you to type in the chat box, where are you from? It will be great to know which countries are with us today. Oh, yeah, we have the USA, Belgrade. Hello, Estonia, Norway, Poland, Qatar, Canada, Czech Republic. Oh, that's right. Sweden, Qatar, Senegal, Australia, Spain, India, Sweden, Iraq, Poland. Great. Oh, Croatia, Sweden, well, Bulgaria, Africa, Vietnam. Wow, great. Welcome, everyone. If you have any question, feel free to type them in the chat box. Questions will be asked to our speakers after our presentation. So we have amazing speakers with us today. Please welcome Agnieszka Koszowska, Mirjana Lesic, and Julian Sempere. Agnieszka Koszowska is our first speaker. She is a chief editor of the portal for librarians, biblioteki.org, and the Information Society Development Foundation's website. Agnieszka comes from Poland, and she is as a project coordinator and author of educational materials. She is responsible for support the foundation's projects and activities in public libraries in schools in the following areas: digital and coding education, e-learning, robotics, STEAM, education, and so on. She hosts workshops and webinars and is also responsible for communication with projects. beneficiaries with social media and emailing campaigns. Her topic today is graphic design for effective communication in the library. Agnieszka, we are really curious how to improve the communication, and tell us please how much does it cost? So, okay, it's your time.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me? Please write a little bit about on the chat box if you can hear me, if everything is okay. I will try to make my my presentation visible on your screen, but I think I need some more time for it. Maybe it is okay. Can you hear my presentation? Okay, I'm not very familiar with this software, so please please forgive me if I made some mistakes, but I think it is okay now. That's that. Yes. So if I thank you very much for having me here, and thank you, Magda, for this warm introduction. And it's great for me to have the opportunity to share with you my experiences with graphic design as a librarian, but also as a project coordinator in the Information Society Development Foundation, where I'm responsible for several websites, including one nationwide portal for librarians, and several, and also from for our organization website and several project websites. So this is how I got more familiar with graphic design, because I have to prepare graphics for the websites that I'm responsible for, and also for communication via social media, for example, and in the communication to our project participants. This is what I would like to talk to you today about some very useful free of charge graphic material graphic software that can be equivalent of professional and expensive software that are used by professionals. So the first question, are you a graphic designer? If you are, or if your library has one and cooperates with graphic designer, you are probably familiar with Adobe software, because it's a very professional graphic package, including Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and several other software that is particularly powerful and very professional. But it may be not favorable for most libraries, because it is expensive. And what is more important, you do not buy it once and you have for life, because it is distributed via subscription. So you have to pay each month the subscription fee in order to have this access to this commercial software. So it's not very convenient. For example, if you have a project and the project has a duration and there's no budget, and then what? You cannot pay subscription fee. So you may want to use another software which is completely free of charge. And look at this. This is Photoshop and this is GIMP. So find the difference. Actually, there are some differences, but what I want to say to you is this GIMP, which is open source, free of charge, completely free software, looks almost the same as Photoshop and has very similar features. It's very powerful, and you can do a lot when preparing your graphic materials for the library. So what can you use the graphic software in the library? For example, to communicate with your community, to engage the community by, for example, a Facebook page or by website page of your library. You can also use the graphic software in educational activities in your libraries, for example, to help some workshops on graphic design or some digital painting for young people or for adults. So GIMP, that's a software you can access here on this website. You can download it from here. What you can use it for? It's a software for raster graphics. So that means that you can do a lot with correcting your images, for example. So for editing and retouching your images that perhaps is not very good. This is example of a very dark picture, so you can make it a little nicer looking. You can, for example, use some very advanced editing tools to get rid of something that is unwanted on your image. Here we have an example with very bad looking wires. So you can just delete this undesired objects or blemishes or anything like that from your images. When you have pictures of people that don't look very nice because of some bad condition or some light features, you can have some retouch feature that you can use to correct your pictures and make people look nicer. And of course, you can use a lot of very advanced features to make your pictures, your graphic design more artistic, more creative, using such features like blur, like artistic filters, like frames, like a lot of different things that can allow you to create very original graphic. And these are several examples of this that I used for communicating with our library beneficiaries via Facebook page. Here is, for example, Facebook graphic post that I made using GIMP to commemorate World Book Day. So it is a holiday for books. This is another one for Star Wars Day, so May the 4th. It is also the creative work made using GIMP features. We can also use it for communication with the project beneficiaries. So using the visual identification of the project, we can also prepare, and I usually prepare some small graphic materials that using the project logos and communication to the project beneficiaries, so just for invitation of librarians to take part in this project. So this is also such examples of such creative works. And we can also use GIMP to create, for example, Facebook cover or any kind of graphic materials that can be used in social media. So this is advantages of GIMP. It is absolutely free. It is very advanced. It is very similar to professional graphic software such as Photoshop. It develops very rapidly and has a lot of community of users and developers. So you may access a lot of materials, so tutorials in various languages, videos, various kind of tips that allow you to grasp the features, the great possibilities of the software. There are some disadvantages. It is not very user-friendly. It, of course, requires some skills. So you have to spend some time while learning how to do some things using GIMP. It is less suitable for print because it doesn't support the CMYK color format, which is required for printed materials, but you can do make it also to support it by using, for example, plugins and extensions. And the same is with raw formats. If you, for example, take pictures with your camera and save it as raw format, raw file, you cannot edit the raw format directly in GIMP, but you can do it via plugins or some additional software. There is another very useful tool which is called Inkscape, and it can be used as equivalent for Illustrator. Illustrator is also a professional Adobe software used for vector graphics. So it looks quite similar to Photoshop, but it is for vector graphics. So you can use it for creating icons, some graphics for web pages, some comics, some very simple graphics. And you can do the same with Inkscape. Inkscape is also free of charge tool, totally free, with a lot of people using it, with a large community of users. That has very similar powerful features. You can download it from this website. And this is a small example of how you use it. Let's say that you need some professional looking icons on your website, on your library website, on the blog. You can, of course, design the website on yourself, the icon for yourself. But if you are not a graphic designer and you cannot cooperate with it for example, restricted budget, you can download the ready-to-use package of icons free of charge in vector format, and you can edit it in Inkscape. For example, you need such an icon, and you can, for example, change the colors, change the size, and adjust it for the visual identification of your library or the project. So it is very useful. It is absolutely free. It is open source. It is vector software, so it's suitable for example, for designing logos, icons, other web graphics. It is very advanced, and it's very useful. It is not so particularly user-friendly as Adobe software, but you have to be disadvantages because the software is completely free. And similarly to GIMP software, it also requires some skill. So you have to learn a little bit how to operate this software. But if you do not want to spend some time learning new software, which is quite advanced, you can use Canva. Canva is web-based software that you can access by creating an account, and it is for completely beginners. So you do not have to have any skill. You just create an account, and you use this very simple tool to create a lot of very useful materials, graphic posts for Facebook posts, for Instagram posts, for some leaflets, some posters, even resume, even bookmarks, business cards, a lot of different things. What is advantage of Canva? It offers you a lot of ready-to-use templates. So there's hundreds of them. Ready templates that have been designed by professionals, so they are professionally looking, and they are ready. They have ready font, ready shape, ready design. So all you can do is just put the information that you use, for example, some headings, some email address, some website address, and use some hundreds of pictures that can be used free of charge for your graphic design. So I really encourage you to try Canva because it's free of charge. There is also a premium version, but this free basic version is really, really advanced. It has hundreds of templates. You can use it for designing images, icons, fonts, shapes, everything is in one place. And it also offers you very flexible editing. So you may also design a custom graphic. You can upload your own picture. You may change colors. You may change design. You may change everything in the suggested template. Some features are in premium version only, but it is not a great disadvantage because this free version is really powerful. For me, it's too much of everything. So I personally prefer GIMP because I can use my own ideas to create some graphics, and Canva offers me so much possibilities that it is sometimes very difficult to choose. It is not suitable for printed materials unless you have this premium version because it offers you some formats that are okay for printed. And it's sometimes, there is a danger that in the future it may go commercial because it's still very, very successful. Other tools that may be useful for you as librarians is, for example, Krita. It is also open source software that is designed for digital painting. So it has been created by artists. So some libraries use it in artistic workshop for young people, for example. It works very well with graphic tablets. So it is also a great tool to teach young people how to use graphic tablets for the artistic works. Another tool which is very useful is Pixel. It offers you similar possibilities as professional editing software. It's used for editing photos. And you can access it from the website, so you do not have to download everything. You can also use PictoChart for infographics, for example, XNView for a lot of things like organize, convert, and view your pictures, and some also other useful materials. This is everything that I have prepared for you. You have some useful addresses here, and I encourage you to try out those useful materials. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Agnieszka, for this presentation. Okay. I see that there are some questions, and we can talk about them after.
Okay. I of course will answer all your questions, and I will be happy to share with you my experiences. Thank you.
Maybe after our presentation, okay? It's fine?
Okay.
So, okay, so our next I need to so we can go further, and our next speaker is Mariana Nesic, head of Library Belgrade Polytechnic in Serbia. She's promoting digital technologies practice in educational and libraries through lectures, presentations, courses, and workshops for students, librarians, and university staff. Mariana is a great member of many important institutions such as the IFLA Audiovisual and Multimedia section and Digital Library Transformation section and Serbian Library Association as well. Her topic is multimedia apps for librarians. Mariana, we totally agree with your topic, and explain us, please, how it could change our librarian life. Okay, so you can go.
Hello, everyone. I hope that you hear me. Well, I think that I had some small problems with internet connection, but I think it's okay. If something's happened, just please tell me in a chat box. Thank you. So, warm welcome from Belgrade. Do you see my presentation? You do? Okay. Just a second, please. Okay. When I was 9 years old, my father bought a camcorder and we made all kinds of movies. I never knew that one day I would make it a part of my job as a librarian. As we know, new media are coming to all corners of society quickly, very quickly. There are a lot of advantages. They are interactive and illustrative and include all senses. They can raise the quality of our services and make things more precise and accurate. And of course, people learn faster and remember longer with using it. So we use it a lot. And in libraries, we use it, but it looks like that we can use it more, because we can use the digital tools not only for digitization and communication, but for all kinds of activities like we can use them to inform, to find, to show, to explain, to connect, to create, and to help people to find what they need, yeah? A modern user needs fast and quick available dynamic information with audio, video included, new educational forms and techniques, and this asks for the advanced digital skills of librarians. So we have to learn a lot and to be open because we can use a lot of things in multimedia to improve our services and to introduce some new. So we can learn about multimedia formats, about gadgets, devices, and various programs and apps and tools that are available. There are so many movie trailers and so few book trailers. Maybe we can do it more. We can use it even with our mobile phones. They are good enough today. And put some text, some music, and then share some social network.
Margiana, can
Yes?
I stop you for a second? We can't see your presentation. If you could please click on share, and that way we can see your screen.
Oh, sorry, I did not do that. Oh, sorry. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
You heard me.
Thank you.
You heard me, and you didn't see the. Okay. Should I just start from the? Okay. From the place that I stay. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
Thank
so you heard me. You heard me before. Okay.
Yes.
So, as I said, sorry, please. We can make video, book trailers easily, and with the help of some programs. As my colleague before said, there are some Adobe, for example, Adobe Premiere, expensive programs, but also we can use it some open source programs. I made a small selection of some free programs that I would like to tell about just a bit. And for example, OpenShot video editor is a very simple to use application. It is a simple interface, and you can easily add some videos and text, maybe some music, and you can easily export in some cool formats. Then also Shotcut, Kdenlive. I must say Blender is also very good free and open source 3D creation suite. In the first place, it is for animation, so for modeling and simulation, but also for video editing. VSDC, also a very nice video editor that can be used for, we'll see later on, for screen capturing also. We can use the video form for various things. For example, we can make small video tutorials or video instruction for our users so that we can visually explain some things that we want. For example, how to use some database or how to do something. That can be very cool. Our students really like them. Also, with the screen recording software, we can make video abstracts for researchers that can be really interesting. And also, we can help people to make video CV. It can also be very good for applying for a job. So these things, screen recording software can help us visualize things that we are doing. And we also, there is also one very good, it is Camtasia, but it is not free, and I'm talking mostly about free programs. So Screencast-O-Matic, it is a 15 minutes free, easy for use. They also offer hosting and sharing materials from their site. but we usually don't need more than 15 minutes to explain it sometimes or describe something. OBS Studio is free and open source software for video recording and also live streaming. It can be also very useful. And again, VSDC, it is good for editing and screen capture, voice recording, and more things you can find out. When we're talking about video, they say that some recent studies show that by the end of 2020, about 80% of the internet content will be in video form. So we have to use it as much as we can. And when we make videos, we should make them, just a couple of tips, short, dynamic, clear, and sometimes also funny, because it can be really powerful in some situation. This is a perfect example of how we can use video in education too. TIB AV portal, Technische und Informationsbibliothek, Hanover, Germany. It is a web-based collection of quality tested videos, scientific videos that can be searched by using advanced filters with semantic indexing and speech transcripts, even with automatic citation and of specific segments of the video. Even more, we can publish our own videos. It's really great platform. Of course, I will not say much about online sources, video materials for education. There are so many, but it is also a very good thing to say. Then it is one of great examples how we can use QR code technology in the metro station and QR library in Bucharest, where with the simple scanning of the QR code from the book spine is leading us directly to the site where the book is available. It is a good example of connection of the physical and digital world, which QR technology do. And also we are coming to augmented reality, which is my focus at the moment. Augmented reality combines physical and virtual world in so many interesting ways, really. It is a physical world, which is augmented with video or 3D content. It started as a Pokemon Go, but these technologies are getting a more important role in the culture and education. Some of them are ready to use, you know, like just click and play, and some other we can put our content in it and then make trigger photos from anything. So it is we make a trigger image from any printed object, and then when we scan it with our gadget, with our device, it starts something that we already prepared. So these are some examples. No, these are some examples from library, Belgrade Polytechnic Library. We made the trigger image of some books, and then it starts video, how we can make books live. So and this is the I tried to connect my business card with the video that I prepared about my library. It is very nice connection with the physical and digital world. Here are also some programs that I prepared for you. These are all of them are open. Once it was Erasmus, and today it is HP Reveal. It is a very good tool for making these kinds of forms. It has some limitation, like video size, for example, but we can use together with them a video compress tool, which can make our videos smaller with not so much loss in quality. So it can be really, we can really do anything from this. And there are other software like, for example, Sketchar. It's a tool that you can learn how to draw with using it. Also, some Google Translate augmented reality mode. It is not available for all languages, but for many is, and it make instant translation. How we scan it, it is a kind of augmented reality tool. Also, there are some anatomy augmented reality applications. You can research a bit and find very much a lot of animation augmented reality applications on all platforms. And this is, for example, for children. Libraries can be interesting to give some ideas how you can make augmented reality. This is Quiver Vision. So children make color the printed drawing, and then when you look it through the device, it become live. Okay. We also can make all sorts of funny animations with multimedia. We can use them to inform our users about some activities or maybe some event that we are preparing. So we usually have we can choose avatar, make some background photo that we want, and put some sound, and then make something funny. I must say, sorry, I didn't have time to translate this one, but I will do it now. Hey, hi, Mila. Did you finish your seminar writing? Oh, I did not. I did it a long time ago. Oh, I cannot handle it. So many books and articles. But why don't you go to the library? There, the kind librarian will help you with the advanced search techniques and the academic writing techniques. Oh, great idea. I'm going right away. Thank you. Bye. Yeah. So we can use, these two are made in Telagami and Puppet Pals applications. They are mostly, I think, for iPhone and iPads, Apple technology, but we can surely find something similar for Android version, in Android version. And also there are so many free multimedia apps that can help us, like for learning languages, Duolingo. I'm sure that a lot of you tried this. Ich lerne Deutsch und amo l'arte alla cucina italiana. So it's very nice because it uses text and audio and images and combine them in some very interesting multimedia application for learning languages. It's really a recommendation. Also, we can use Prezi for interactive presentations and WordPress for making good websites. And also, Agnieszka, colleague before said about Canva. It is very good for making graphic solutions like posters and things like that. And I would like to conclude that we librarians, if we want to be a part of global transformation, we have to be open to learn all the time, and we should not just be fascinated with technology, but we have to see the real potential of it and to generate content in relation to what we really need. And if the library role is to give access to knowledge and information and to support learning and innovation, then we don't have to know everything, but we have to know a lot and to be well informed to help our users with their digital needs as well. And finally, digital tools and multimedia can help us better succeed in SDGs fulfillment, because we can use them in so many interesting ways to illustrate the problems and to illustrate their solutions. And the most important, we have to be ready to constant change, because some of these tools that we are talking about today may not be available tomorrow, because more or less are open source. But on the other hand, there are so many new tools that we can find. We just have to be open and flexible, and so that we always can find what we really need, and to find out how it works, then to test it, to share it, and to help people use it. At the end, I must quote Noah Yuval Harari in his book 21 Lessons for 21st Century. When he's talking about what we can learn about young people today that prepare them for tomorrow, he says that we can teach them 4 C's. So it is critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and the most important of all will be the ability to deal with change, to learn new things, and to preserve your mental balance in unfamiliar situations. So thank you, and I'm sorry if I was really fast, but that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirjana. This multimedia world is amazing. Thank you so much for it.
Yeah.
And our last speaker, Julien Sempere, from France, is a Learning Center project manager at University Paris-Saclay. He is in charge of following the building and services development of the future Lumen Learning Center. Julien is also involved in the IFLA knowledge management section as a member. His topic is virtual reality to design library buildings. Very interesting. So, Julien, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. So I will try to change the scope after the 2 first presenters. It was very interesting. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. I just want to explain. I will show how, through a digital project, we can do some connection with our campus, because I'm working in an academic library, but I think it's the same. You can think about it in a city with a city library or the same kind. In fact, 2 years ago, so I will show you a presentation I have done in IFLA this year, but I will explain you in a very different way I've done during IFLA, because I've did it showing how we use virtual reality to design space in libraries. But now I will explain you the backstage of that. How do you use libraries to connect with researchers, with users in your campus? Because I think digital project can be a real tool to do some human project. So here I'm working in a campus, in a city campus in the middle of south of Paris in France, and here is where will be the library I'm building, the learning center. Around there is a city, there is some scholars here in some faculties are just around, and there are a lot of research building all around here. And across the future metro station, you have some inhabitants, it's citizens living around the campus. And what we are trying with the colleagues, it's to find a way to work with our environment and to explain that librarians are not just shelves and books workers. So what we did, we check around us all the new initiative living around. So and there is a laboratory here, the LIMSI, working in virtual reality, but they work in other fields. In fact, this laboratory, they work in translation language, in language semantic, And so they do, for instance, chatbot for students. They try to develop chatbot for medical studies. They work in mechanical engineering, so very different kind of work. But we had this chance that we understood that they were working on how to create some collaboration with digital tools. And we had in the same time a design project for our future library. So we asked them to make an encounter, and we explained that we had some plans of the library, and we had a chance to have this plan in a digital way. So we have some digital files of the library. For that, you can create it, for instance, with tools like Revit. Revit it's not a free software, but as academic library, we can use it freely. So you, as a student, as a researcher, and as librarians, we can have free licenses. That means that you can imagine with some digital tools project in an academic area, and they will be free because the tools have special licenses for academic uses. So we had the chance to connect with a teacher from the engineering school just nearby. Here you have an engineering school. And we did a project of designing the spaces with the students and the teachers. So it was a way to join in the same project. On one side, researchers specialized in collaboration in virtual reality, and on the other hand, teacher and student working as future engineers. So they need projects to practice. And in this case, the library, it's in fact a joint actor in the campus. We provoke the encounter, the meeting between that different kind of actor. They are just nearby. It's just 200 meters between the two buildings, but they didn't know each other before. And it was a way to connect them and through us. So what we did is that we organized during 6 months some design test every week. And I just want to insist on the fact that on the library side, we didn't use that much money, but we use time to be every week organizing the training with the different actors. But the laboratory, they are specialized in digital skills. So we didn't develop special skills in virtual reality. We had the chance to be trained by the researchers specialized in that field. And thanks to that, our expertise was to organize the sessions and not to be specialized in virtual reality. The researcher is thing, it's not our. That means that we had some PhD students working with us. We had all the materials, the personal computer, the virtual reality cask, and so done by the laboratory. And on the other side, we had the teachers in the project, and they helped us to touch the students and to have users involved. So as you can see on the screen, we did some session to work on it. In fact, you can do the same thing without any digital skills, because you can do that kind of project. It in fact is more using experience design project, as we can do in many ways in libraries. We did it because we had this opportunity designing the space of a building, but we could do it, for instance, just wanting to change the space of a part of the library without any digital skills, but just with searching, for instance, for researcher working on spaces, on use of the city or use of the spaces without any digital part. So as you can see, we did more than 20 sessions, and we worked on different spaces. And so what is important is more the session, the organization of the session than the digital. And what is important, it's thanks to that kind of project, and we try to do that kind of project with different kind of situation. We have the chance each time to touch different kind of people. In our university, we have about 300 research centers, laboratories. We have more than 60,000 students. So it's impossible for the library to know anyone. And for the users, they don't know each other. So one of the main role of the library is to encourage the meeting between that kind of competencies, teaching, research, and with the innovation and the link to the campus. That's why for each project, and digital is a way to be modern, to be in our age, if I can say so. So we use that because in general, researchers are very interested in that kind of field because we are in engineering and very hard science and computer science university. But if we were in a social science university, we could use other kind of tools. And when we have an opportunity, we try each time to have in the room users, so that means or researcher or students or teachers, organized with different kind of institution or different laboratories. So we don't want to do a project with just one actor, but we mixed, and we put our energy not to develop a new technology or a skill in a domain which is not our, but we have I think two main skills we can put in. It's on one side, our capacity to be public spaces and public actor. So that means that we can touch very broad public and be a reference for anyone who want to know with who they can work. And on the other side, we have the capacity to understand and to know the richness and of the knowledge of our universities. That means that through catalogs, through books, but through data, through articles, through laboratories, we can put in the project the good competencies, the good expertise, and to reach the good people. And I think in that way, the researcher now, when they want to do another project of collaboration, as I said, the laboratory with which we worked is specialized in other fields than just virtual reality. They are specialized in data mine, in the text mining, in languages. That's why now we are doing a project on chatbot with another part of the laboratory. But it was thanks to the first project that we met the people of the other project. So I think it's very important for the library to be in the middle of a method in the campus and not only through a tool or just a skill in digital. For instance, what you see here was a part developed by the researcher, not by the library. So the idea to work collaboratively, to check things through virtual reality, some technology, and we had more the method part. But it was very interesting because at the end we worked very broadly, not only on the virtual reality designing spaces, but we worked in fact to better understand, for instance, people with disabilities thanks to that tool. So now we are doing a new project working to better adapt our spaces for students or users with disabilities. We had the chance, as I said, to work now on chatbot. So from one project, now we have 2 new projects in different fields, and it's different librarians now involved in the project. So that means that it's not only for you, the users, but for my colleagues. Just before, our colleagues spoke about the change, how the library can change. And I think that kind of project and that kind of methods can help you, thanks to digital, but not only by digital, to change your team and of course, the service you can provide in the middle of your campus or your city. It was more or less what I want to insist through my presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julian. It's a really great project. Congratulations to you and Joanne. So, okay, it's a question time. And I have a few questions for our speakers. Okay. Okay. First of all, I've read a lot of kind words for our speakers. And the first question from Andres. How can we be sure of a digital tool's viability and expensive software can be outdated in a very short time? It's a question for Agnieszka.
Okay, I have already answered in the question and answer tools just a minute ago, so you can also check my answer there. I think that there is no huge problem with sustainability, with viability of this commercial software, because distributors are developing it continuously, and they usually change the distribution model, and now it looks like that you do not buy the software, you just buy the access to the software. So this is why you have to pay the monthly fee on subscription mode, and the distributors guarantee that you will always have an access to the latest version. So the software won't be outdated. You will have the latest version, and it is still developing. But the problem is that you have to pay every month. So there's no guarantee that the price won't be higher, for example. It may change. And you do not have guarantee that you will have this access to the software when the budget is over. So no budget, no software. So this is the problem with professional tools. So the distribution models are changing, and you cannot be sure about how high the price will be in future. So it may be too expensive for the library to pay for it. Of course, there are also possibilities to have some discounts if you are, for example, educational institution, but of course it varies according to some regulations and law in each country, because usually there is some discounts for educational institutions. So I mean schools, universities, and non-profit institutions like non-government organizations, for example. And there is sometimes problem with discounts for libraries, because they are other kinds of institutions, and they are not, in I think many countries, regarded as educational institutions, so they do not apply for this discount. Of course, it depends on various kinds of tools, because sometimes it is possible to use this educational version for the cheaper version for the library, and sometimes it is not.
Okay, thank you. I understand. I have also another question for you, Agnieszka. Ulla Wester would like to ask you, what is the business model of Canva and the other free softwares? What about the protection of user data?
Users' data protection. Well, it is hard to say now. I can say that it is a free software, so you're not required to use your real data when creating an account. So you do not sign an agreement. So there's no obligation for you to use real personal data. But in case of such web-based tools, I think there are some regulations. So on each website of such software, there is legal information that concerns also protection of personal data. So I think 100% that there is relevant information on the website of Canva that you can access all those legal information about how they treat, how they process the personal data, and how they protect this. Because there is some legal requirement that they have to protect. If anyone registered by their name, the obligation is to protect the personal data. But as for free tools, you're not required to use real data. I think that's the right question, according to as far as my knowledge is.
Okay, thank you, Agnieszka. I see a few questions to Mariana. Mariana, some librarians, old or young, are not digital enthusiasts. In your opinion, how can we help our colleagues to use digital tools in an easier way? What do you think?
Well, I think the first is important to explain people what are the real importance of using these kind of tools, and then to show them some good examples, and then introduce to them some simple applications that they can use very quickly and easily. And then when they do that, when they learn how to do them, and then they realize the benefits of it, they can move on and then become more curious. Because I had experience with the courses that I teach. For example, people come with not really believing that they are interested in that, really are suspicious. They don't think that they are capable of doing that. But after a couple of hours of practicing, and then when they realize what they can really do by themselves, they become really enthusiastic. So just from the simple to more complex things.
Great.
And
Thank you.
just add one thing at the end. I wouldn't like to forget to say that I recently became a member of IFLA audiovisual multimedia section, and I would like to just to announce that we are preparing also some video recommendations about digital tools that we are going to post on our social media. So please follow on the Facebook and YouTube channels about audiovisual multimedia section.
Okay. Mirjana, I see the question about your library. Monique asked, do you work with media production labs or traditional media library?
Sorry, I think I didn't understand you very good. Can you repeat, please?
Okay, so question from Monique. And do you work with media production labs or traditional media library?
Yeah, it's traditional. My library where I'm working is a traditional library, but I use some digital tools to improve the work of the traditional library. Yes.
Okay, great. I see also many questions about the presentations from our speakers. I would like to say that webinar recording will be available on our new professional blog soon, and you can watch it again if you would like, and to notice all the links and see it once again. Okay, and many thanks, of course, to our speakers. And also, I would like to say thank you to our to all of our speakers, and also to webinar planners and sponsors. Warmly thank to my team from New Professional Special Interest Group for continuing professional development and workplace learning section of IFLA, American Library Association, and Association of College and Researcher Libraries. After the webinar, there is a survey. You can see the link. If you have 5 minutes, please fill the survey. Your opinion helps us to improve our next webinars. And thank you so much, and see you soon.